Thanks for playing, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Have a good night, Pringle.
Good
See you
games.
next
You
time.
too, guys. Yep, hopefully.
Laters. Just saying, I really like that Pringle guy better than the other guy. Not in the terms of like he actually stuck around and like didn't cop an attitude or like bit and just like pieced out because somebody said something, but
Yeah.
like the couple games that we did play with the other dude, he just responds a lot better, I feel. And I'm just the typical bitch boy puppet.
Alright, I'm doing a like kind of a stream review of naming a guy I know. I don't know if Billy's coming back, but I'm just gonna watch some of the game, and I'm streaming some of it, so it'll hopefully help. So I'm just gonna be talking. So so level one, what happened was that I think it's just not knowing who has the stronger level one. You see, they have a Nautilus and a Scion, so you can't really face check a Scion because you can charge up his Q without you being able to see it while it's in a bush, and then Nautilus hook is there. So if any of those things happen, the invade goes wrong, right, and someone dies. I think that's what we saw at the level one invade. I don't get to see draft. I wasn't letting me spectate during draft. We see an Ashe mid, which, you know, it's whatever. The reason, just in general, the reason why something like Ashe isn't usually played mid is because it's such an easy gank target. And if she's using her W to farm or poke, she's probably getting some hits on the wave as well. So, which means the wave is always going to be pushing and she's susceptible to ganks. Um, as far as bot lane is concerned, I would like to see, like, if you have the cooldown ready as Yuumi, when Nautilus is throwing that hook out, you press that, I think it's a W, where you hop out, you take the hook, and then you hop right back in to, because while you're attached to Xerath, obviously his health isn't a factor. You want to traps, but whatever, maybe this turns out well. But I think there's a world where Xerath doesn't have to die there for this, and possibly you get both kills. So, I had to slow that down to see all the options there, but flashing the traps or flashing the hook might have been helpful. I don't know exactly. Take a look at mid lane here, real quick. Freeze. Ultimately, you're like what? Like it's obviously too early for it back and get any items. Um, so yeah, there's nothing really you can do. Top gank. Oh, we got the kill. Okay. Ultimately, not a good idea from Aramar. We don't know the jungler's there, right? But with hindsight, we can definitely assess the situation. Oh god. Okay. Well, anyway, if the Scion wasn't a doofus, what would happen is that wave's gonna push in, and Scion can set up a freeze right in front of his tower. But instead, he's pushing it out for some reason, which is the wrong play on his part. But look back bot. He's getting hooked. Now he flashes. Kind of a rule for, like, it's almost always bad to flash after the fact. Like if you get hooked by Nautilus, you're probably gonna get hook trapped combo if they're both in range of it, right? So if you just flash the hook itself, if it's gonna hit, that's ultimately the better play than taking the hook and then having to flash after, because the reason why is you'll lose a lot of health that you otherwise wouldn't have lost. And as you have a healer as a cat, but look at the mana right now, it's pretty low. So like, you would save mana in this case instead of exactly HP. So getting top is probably his flash. See 6, yeah. A good gank. He has a ward. And again, if he just froze the wave up here, it wouldn't have worked. So, getting away with exploiting a bad player, that's a lot to. It's a good thing you're exploiting him. But since bot lane's doing well, we're seeing them starting the dragon counter. One dragon's not a big deal. See how that progresses throughout the game. So, surprised Diana hasn't come mid. Let's check an item check. So aim or ward backs for probably Cutlass and a pink ward. I don't know what this is, but you can see the wave is crashing. Diana's wasting a lot of time here. If this is warded, which it could be, then it could be a problem. But it looks like they're doing a dive. Oh, it's tanking. Uh-oh, well. Yeah. I'm not gonna talk about the dive, really. I think y'all did as well as you could, really. Sion should definitely just be catching the CS instead of chasing a kill. So Syndra, you can see like she's constantly auto-attacking, she's queuing through the wave. You know, just an idea, see how he's pushing the wave out, but since he's kind of like auto-attacking as well, which is the wrong way to play this lane, this is what he should be doing, right? And this is kind of a depiction of what Sion could have done earlier in the game. But now the wave's on his side. He's got the pink ward here, so Diana, this is warded, but it's possible she can stay out of vision, maybe come for a gank, but no. Gets the barrier out, but it did cost him his flash, so she probably didn't see exactly, but Ash should communicate to Syndra, to the communicate that Syndra's flash is down. And since you have vision on the bot river, and Ash has ult, then okay. So y'all see the jungler's top, but y'all still lose the 2v2. So even though we know that the jungler is top and this is an even 2v2, we have the information. They don't know where our jungler was until now. They didn't know where our jungler was, but we knew where theirs was. We're still forced to play under our tower, and that's kind of just the product of the lane matchup, how it was selected. So. Alright, since we kind of have a break here, Tryndamere has to take a peek. Probably get away. Oh, could have gotten hit out of the air, but. So, then we see Ash forced to push, but. Syndra without ult, now has ult. Yeah, you were dead, Diana. There's no point in flashing that. Nope, you're dead. He's got an ultimate. Alright, so let's talk about win conditions. So, Tryndamere split push should have the upper hand on Sion. Sion is playing TP, so you can expect some objective control. I mean, he's got 4 deaths at this point, so it's... But Diana has 4 kills, which is going to be a problem for Ashe, for Xerath. And without really any CC to stop him, so if you use like Ashe ult to hit Diana in the face, well, cool, but now you can't engage the fight, so it's all reactionary. They're in the driver's seat based off of what they want to do. So they have the engage. This team, I guess Yuumi ult or like some sort of snipe can start an engage. This team's very poke heavy with kind of two, like just some guy that should probably never group for anything is Tryndamere. Just put him in a side lane, let him just split push. Because if y'all 5v5, y'all will lose. One Nautilus hook on a Xerath. And when situations like this happen, it's obvious that he's doing something. The Nautilus is doing something wrong, but it could be. All right. So that's the situation where. Yep. So now they got a fed Jinx and a fed Diana, but it's kind of like it's unfortunate. Like we might think that catching Nautilus there is a good play, but it's only because Nautilus is making a mistake. So it's like I think I'd be confused. Like, hey, we got the pick, but it's good that you collapsed on him, but without proper like Ashe is walking through here. This might be something we can actually look back at. So when Ashe is walking through here, we don't have vision of this bush, we don't have vision of that bush. And it's just like complete vision, right? So Jinx is running up, Syndra's in this bush, we can see that coming from mid. But at this point, we're trusting the Mundo CC or something to get us through here, which is not going to be the case. So it's just, they have vision set up, and they can get on your backline because they're already on the side beside you, while the other team, while y'all have to, because I'm just gonna fast forward here. So that a lot of objective control is about vision. I'm not a Yuumi player. I don't play the champion once in an ARAM. I don't what good fight, but I think ultimately they turn this. So yeah. 2 kills. Yeah. So even though Ashe lands the arrow, we are. Where is, I guess, looking at where is our money? So the game's tied in kills, but what is the actual difference in champion strength? We don't want to fight where they're the strongest, and we don't want to fight them when we have our weakest champions to fight with. So. She might die. It's actually, it's only a 150 shutdown, so not terrible. But like we can see a lot. Let's see how do I see the gold discrepancy in here? Say button. Forgot what it was. X there. Where does the gold difference lie? And we look side by side, and our own, or as the blue team, our only lead is through Tryndamere. Everything else is either a push or we're down 3k, 3.5k in the case of Jinx versus Xerath. So like we don't want to fight where their Jinx is, or essentially where the Diana is. It's based off of, and then we took that fight when they're both there, and we're not fighting with our Tryndamere. At this point in the game, even though the gold is 1.5k down, y'all are significantly behind. Y'all ain't gonna win a 4v4 team fight. You probably won't even win a 4v5 team fight with Tryndamere split pushing, as we kind of see. With Tryndamere like not being in the fight. So I think it's a mistake for Sion not to answer Tryndamere still, but might still get collapsed on. All right. Yeah, and as the blue team, our proactive plays are like pretty much solely based on Ashe Arrow. But we have to use the Ash Arrow where they're not, where their Jinx pretty much isn't. That's actually pretty good kiting by the Jinx. So, even though that was a 3v4, because Diana and Nautilus were bot, they were able to push you off of the Rift Herald and get some kills. Now, the only saving grace there is that y'all got the Jinx kill, got the shutdown. But, anyway, alright. So, I mean, team fights are, I'm not really trying, I probably won't go into them at all. Just positioning and all that, that takes a lot more time. So, we got the split push Ashe. Are you here, Billy?
Yes, I'm eating Lucky Charms.
Oh, alright. So we have a split push Ashe, no vision whatsoever to predict anything. And we know they have a Diana that can roam up, and literally anyone on the enemy team can kill him. Maybe Sion is the only exception. Maybe. Maybe Still Killer with the Bramble and the Sunfire. So
and on top of that, it's a split push Wild Dragon.
Yeah. So I like the attaching to Mundo now. Attaching to Xerath and attaching to Ashe doesn't get you anything. But if you attach to Mundo, that allows you to push into places. You can probe out with your little shooty thingy and see, like, check bushes while you're attached to Mundo. Syndra's there. She might get double. Yeah. Don't. Oh well. Yeah. So, I think again we're fighting without, like, fighting into them when they have the advantage. So I mean, it's just kind of the same event that's happening over and over again. So if y'all wanted to contest for Dragon, Ashe cannot be top, pushing a wave just to die to it for it. So we see Ashe coming top. So if we want to be proactive, again, we have the Ashe ult is the only way to do that, other than like for some reason they face check a bush. But is she gonna do the same thing? Because right now their play is to get Still Killer. Yeah.
See, in this instance, I'm not going to point out mechanical things. But in this instance, obviously Ashe just pushed one too many waves. Ashe could have pushed the last wave back because you're not at risk of losing Dragon. So, like, at some point it's fine to be in the side lane as AD carry. Could have pushed one wave and then back. I don't know why you pushed the second wave. But, like, at least there's nothing you give up in that death. Because they're not going to get a dragon. They're not really going to get anything off of that death. But still, I guess you have no vision.
There's a play there where you get something and you lose less. And there's probably a play where you get something even more and lose less. If that's like your team, if y'all wanted to be proactive, y'all ought to play around Rift Herald, but dying 5 times over 20 minutes. I mean, most of the team. We look at Xerath, every 3 minutes we see in the gray screen, right? So like the amount of like ability to ward, the ability to team fight just doesn't exist because we're not prepping up our engagements. So we're gonna see Tryndamere getting really deep. Now what we would want to see from the remainder of the team is to pressure somewhere, but we have Ashe in the top lane, which is there's nothing for us to get. There's no top tower to capture. The only play is to get the mid tower in this situation, which with Jinx with rockets is not going to happen. So we have an Ashe that's playing like a Singed, and a Yuumi that, I mean, does she need help clearing the wave? Are you going to be doing damage to the tower? Are we getting vision?
I see 2 possible plays there. All 4 go top and try to get top tower, or all 4 go mid and try to pick off that Jinx. But instead, you have two and obviously neither play War.
And again, you need the Ash ult to pick off the Jinx.
Right.
So either the Mundo with the Yuumi ult. But Ash being top, I mean, that's just Nautilus being dumb. You can't credit, like, hey, Ash, Yuumi, y'all used 2 ults and y'all killed the support who's already 0-6. And there's nothing to really celebrate there. So,
Fortunate there that couldn't get me. Looking at items, Jinx is sitting on 3 completed items plus execution. Ash is sitting on 1.5 completed items. So with that, like a potential to get that pick on the Jinx just now, could have been pretty critical. The Jinx was made a full play by me, made all by himself.
man, they're Baron there. You can see them pressuring mid as 5. If Tryndamere is going to be bot, I mean, Xerath getting the bot way pushing, I guess, but what you're essentially sacking mid inhibitor here. And y'all can't take a team fight. Y'all have to hit like the Ash ult is again the only way to get anything going. But y'all need all 5 here to do anything. So
Yeah, Mundo was really poorly positioned, like on the rotation there.
yeah,
Like if you're gonna defend the inhibitor, you don't defend it with him coming from one side and everybody coming from the other. Either all defend it together in one direction or just give it up. I don't know why.
yeah. So y'all wait for Tryndamere to come back. If the inhibitor's still up, y'all might be able to get a fight. If the Ash ult hits someone other than Scion or Nautilus. But really, if it hits anyone else, you're gonna lose the fight. So you have to give it up. But yeah, Mundo.
I mean, I think one decent rule of thumb, like when you're trying to figure out like shot calling and synergy and how to play with your teammates that you might be new to playing with, etc. One general like good rule of thumb is just group as 5 as often as possible. Like don't ARAM it, but like there were times where Ash was just pushing top by himself. And like that can work at higher levels, but until you know like how to shot call correctly and how to work with your teammates, it's better just 5-man push top, 5-man push bottom, 5-man go to Rift. There was that one time y'all were at Rift not with 5. It's like do things as 5, and you're gonna find that the other team is burping and not sending 5 people to stuff, and you're gonna have an advantage. But like, it just seemed like a lot of what I was watching was, yes, it was like poor shot calling and poor positioning, but also it was could have been masked. Like poor plays and poor shot calling, poor decision, poor positioning, all of that can be completely covered up if you just have a numbers advantage. Like if you're making a dumb play but you have 5 players and they have 3 or 4, sometimes that dumb play can work just off of sheer numbers. But yeah.
Yeah. So kind of some final thoughts. I think, yeah, I think it's Billy said. When you're playing with people you don't know, it's really important to try to get on the same page as much as possible. So if you have a top, let's say I'm only looking at this game. So if you have a top laner that wants to split push heavy, he's not taking TP or anything, then the other 4 players have to be able to take objectives and be able to pressure. And other than Mundo walking in with Yuumi attached, there's no way to get vision. There's no engage without the Ash ult. And if they're playing it properly, you're only engaging on a Nautilus, getting a flash out of it. So it's like they should have vision priority and dictate, but since they can wait in a bush and wait for whoever to show up, Nautilus hook or whatever, and so like so yeah, I can't watch draft for some reason. It wasn't letting me spectate, but yeah. So I think understanding your team, the players on your team more than the champions, what they're good at, drafting around that, trying to like it's a puzzle that you're trying to fit together, and it's not going to be a perfect picture, but it could be good enough to win some games. So
Yeah, I don't like I said, I don't know the philosophy on like what the team comp strategy was or to I don't want to like sit here and flame and tear it apart. But like from a outside perspective, looking at that comp, I don't really know what y'all are trying to accomplish with that aside from like let Tryndamere split push and then just kite back. But if you're gonna do that, y'all, the other four of y'all have to be together. So Tryndamere can be splitting, and the four of y'all can be together. And then if they try to engage you, y'all kite back with Ashe and Yuumi and Xerath and stuff. But that never was able to see if that idea would work because y'all were never together as four, while Trin was in a side lane. So it was always like y'all were trying. It almost looked like y'all were trying to go 1-3-1. And you can't 1-3-1 with an 80 carry in a side lane. Maybe Vayne, but like other than that, I can't think of an 80 carry I would.
Yep. So I think Tryndamere also got a pretty solid lead, but then like the rest of the team needs to like realize that and play accordingly. Like if I died first in lane, I'm no longer trying to do damage. I'm trying to farm CS so I can become relevant and help Tryndamere later since he had the early lead. But it's just like we kept on running into places that we were at a disadvantage with, instead of letting Tryndamere. That's pretty much the only advantage in the early game that we got. So letting him, instead of maximizing that, we keep on taking deficits by doing something that's disadvantageous for us. So this identifying win conditions, those change throughout the game sometime, and yeah, play accordingly. But I'm pretty much finished here though.
Yeah, I'm finished. I know like if anybody is actually gonna watch this video, and if you make it this far, then you've dealt with seems like a myriad of like negativity and ripping apart and all that. But it's easier for us to sit here and view a game and see the mistakes in real time than for you to actually play the game and identify those things that are happening. It's also easier for Sean and I in particular to point things out because Sean and I have been playing competitively for, I don't know, 18 months or so and had some pretty good success. Whereas obviously y'all, the 5 players in this game, are still very new to each other. So it's easy for us to say, oh, well, we definitely would have done this, or we definitely would have done that. Whereas obviously there's some learning and some growing pains there. So if it seems like I'm just being negative and flaming you, I am flaming you, but I'm not trying to be hateful. I just flame everybody, including myself.
Yep. I think yeah. I guess that's it then. I'll end the stream.